The 18 Louhan Gong derives from the Shaolin Temple exercises. These exercises were systematically recorded and handed down more than 100 years ago by the renowned Fan Dong, a grand master in the northern praying mantis style of Kung Fu. The specific goal of these exercises is marrow cleansing and tendon changing, which according to an old Shaolin tradition was the secret to immortality. One of the reasons this Qigong is named 18 Louhan is that according to the Buddhist tradition, the Louhans, also known as the Arhat, who are ranked between the fairy gods and the Buddha, are immortal. While this exercise will probably not make you immortal, it will improve your flexibility and strengthen your bones. While everyone can do these exercises, they are primarily geared for people who have a background in martial arts or are actively involved in sports activities. These exercises are designed to build up your qi so that you have more explosive power when practicing your chosen martial art. For those of you who do not practice martial arts but are involved in sports, this Qigong will help you to develop a greater degree of explosive power. It has proven to be effective in preventing sports injuries and also in helping you rebound back from a sports injury. For those of you concerned with improving and maintaining your health, this Qigong is effective in retarding and even preventing the development of arthritis, osteoporosis, frozen shoulders, stiff joints, and other joint, bone, and tendon problems. There were originally 18 different styles of martial arts from which praying mantis was derived. Because of this, the number 18 was chosen to describe the 18 different qi movements contained in this set of exercises. As a precondition to understanding why this Qigong is so valuable, we must understand the difference between Li and Jing. Li is raw power or force. It deals with solids. It is used, for instance, in breaking boards. Jing, on the other hand, is condensed or refined force. It combines concepts of solids and fluids. For example, the human body contains solids, liquids, and gas, all of which are a source of strength. If you use raw power to open a bottle of water, you cannot get the water out unless you hit and break the bottle. Whereas if you use Jing power, you remove the cap, turn the bottle over, and pour the liquid out. Jing is used to create energy waves. For instance, when applied on the human body, it can create shock that can cause internal damage, such as bleeding or hemorrhage, or the choking up or sealing off of the respiratory tubes. This type of damage cannot be inflicted by Li power, only by Jing. Thus, Jing is an important ingredient in martial arts. Jing occurs when you combine your original raw force, Li, with your mind and qi. Martial arts, when done correctly, requires the use of Jing and not raw force or Li alone. The most important thing about Jing and martial arts is timing and distance. You have to be economical in order to apply Jing. If you are chopping something, you need distance when you are using raw force. In the same way, if you are fighting and someone punches and you use Li to block, you would then have to retract your hand and employ the distance that you retracted in order to generate the force for the punch. This is not economical, therefore it is not Jing. And also, when you have to bring your hand back to create a distance from which to punch, you open yourself up and thus create what we call a leak. We have discussed distance now. Let us discuss timing. Some people believe that quickness is the answer to everything. Having quick hands, for instance, is a valuable asset. But using the quickness at the appropriate time is more important. Thus, timing is the important principle, and finding the most economical time to employ a technique is an important aspect of Jing. Fa Jing is a power issuing. We know that Jing requires mind or spirit, Li or raw power, and Qi or energy. But how does this issue from the body, and how can it be employed in the most economical way? The principle of Fa Jing answers these questions. Master Su will now demonstrate on Ponsek the differences between a punch using Li and a punch using Jing. If you use Li to strike an opponent, you need distance in order to generate power. No matter how quick your hands are, covering that distance takes time. On the other hand, if you use Jing, you don't have to relocate your fist to generate energy. You can continue from the first point forward to the second point, and so on. Thus, Jing is more economical, and there are less leaks in your defense. People often call Jing short power or hidden power because the distance is so drastically reduced. Power coming from Jing is very destructive. It is very dangerous and should only be used in life-threatening situations, since it is easy to disable or kill your opponent. When we talk about Jing, we are talking about what is going on inside. For instance, if Master Su brings his hand down, this is obvious power. However, when he uses hidden power, the movement is more internal. In the same way, a bullet fired from a gun has a spiraling power. A bomb exploding has an explosive power, and these are both forms of internal power. Some people feel that since they are not interested in martial arts, this type of exercise is of no value to them. This is not the case. The same process is extremely valuable for one's health because the Jing exercise requires concentration of mind and qi circulation, and this process will improve health and healing. For example, if you fall down and injure yourself, if you can use Jing and Fa Jing, you can circulate qi through a bruised or injured area, and this will speed up the healing process. This same Fa Jing principle can be used to purge your system of illness throughout your body. For example, if you maintain a program of Qi Gong and use a Qi Gong that involves purging yourself, such as this one, part of what you are purging may be cancer cells that will then have a reduced chance of growing. Preventing illness and maintaining good health really depends on you. Keeping yourself healthy is more important than waiting until you get sick and looking for a doctor. Staying healthy is your responsibility. Master Su has been a doctor of acupuncture for more than 40 years. As a doctor, he knows he can help you with a specific problem. But the secret to good health is up to you. So you can't depend on a doctor, you must depend on yourself. When Master Su has a patient and he sees him for a tooth pain, and a week later he sees him for a knee pain, and later for another problem, he deals with specific things. The patient, however, has to deal with maintaining his own good health. 18 Louhan Gong is a martial art Qigong. Martial art Qigong emphasizes Fa Jing. Martial art Qigong deals with going from the internal to the external. Most Qigongs for health remain internal and deal with internal circulation. Here we are dealing with the power going out of the body, thus we are dealing with purging of the body. Martial art Qigong, because it deals with purging, can bring about healing and strength faster than many health Qigongs. The first thing that you must understand in order to do a martial art Qigong is relaxation. You need to understand the principle of yin and yang in order to achieve true relaxation. Going out is yang and coming in is yin. If you want to issue power, you must be completely relaxed. In other words, you really have to be yin. You have to be really yin to turn into yang. If you tense before you strike, it is like striking yourself first. The second item is tendon stretching. Stretching the tendon allows the qi to flow stronger and smoother. Stretching tendons reduces stress. There are many ways to train relaxation. Some people use sitting meditation. This is fine if you are able to do it, But Master Su believes that it is very hard to clear your mind of all thoughts. He thinks it's easier to keep only one thought in mind, namely stretching. Stretching is very important, as Master Su demonstrates, while Marit is doing a horse dance. It is necessary to stretch all of the joints and tendons. For instance, the head is straight with chin in, thereby stretching the neck. The shoulders are dropped with the scapula down. The elbows are stretched and sinking at the same time. The wrist is stretched. The tailbone is tucked in, thereby stretching the vertebral column. The hip joint is stretched so the pelvis is round. The knees are bent and inward to create a stretch. And finally, your feet has the toes grabbing the ground, cupping the foot, which again stretches them. Stretching, of course, is tension and is extremely young, but it is followed by the relaxation, which is yin. This same principle is used in Chinese acupressure, where deep massage and stretching are used to create relaxation. These massages make you physically more relaxed, and then you become mentally more relaxed as well. At the same time, care must be taken while doing these exercises to stay within the limits of your own abilities. Not everyone can or should do all of the exercises depicted on this tape, and it is better to stay with those exercises that you can do without overextending yourself. There are at least 54 moves in the entire 18 Louhan. One way of looking at this is that each Louhan consists of a yin move and a yang move, and a move that combines and balances the energy. For those of you who are not familiar with the term, a Louhan is a saint or guardian who sits at the feet of the Buddha. Thus, each set of movements symbolically represents one of the Louhan. The first exercise is called the Immortal Salutes. The purpose of the exercise is to empty the chest and make the dantian solid by dropping the qi from the chest to the dantian. Proper breathing is necessary part of this exercise. Stand with your feet together and with your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Slowly inhale with your fists at your side. While punching forward and bringing your fists to chest level, exhale sharply. Hold your breath as you open your palms and press forward. Become aware of a stretch in your shoulder blades. Rotate your hands so your palms are facing upward and slowly close your fingers tightly, forming fists in both hands as you inhale and bring your hands back to your sides. This constitutes the yang movement. Like all of the following movements, it is traditionally repeated 8 times, although each person can use their own discretion with regard to the number of repetitions. The yin movement begins as you inhale and punch straight up over your head while stretching arms and shoulders. The next movement emphasizes the stretching of your spinal cord. While you look upward, exhale and slowly bend forward until your fists touch the ground in front of you. Begin to inhale as you come up and turn to your left, and exhale as you bend to your left. Inhale as you come up again. Face straight ahead and turn to the right and bend down. Then repeat, going to your left and then your right. repeating until you have completed a series of 8. The adjustment or balancing move involves opening your palms facing the sky with your head bent backwards. Be sure to stretch your scapula upwards, back bent, stomach pressed out, and eyes looking through your hands at the sky. The object of this posture is to distribute the qi evenly throughout your whole body. Keeping your head facing upward opens your breathing passageways. It is not just your eyes, but your mouth that faces upward. This also enables the lungs to purge toxic substances. Breathe naturally. Stay as long as you are able for this third exercise, which does not need to be repeated. When you are finished, bring your hands down to the dantian. If there is saliva in your mouth, be sure to swallow it. In the yang exercise, when the fists are first extended and then the hands are opened, it is important to stretch the shoulders forward. This is one of the Fa Jing exercises that enables you to develop internal power. The second exercise is called the Titan Lifts the Giant Cauldron. The purpose of this exercise is to strengthen kidney qi. This is done by strengthening the anal sphincter, the legs, and also the low back muscles. The kidney area is very important in the martial arts as well as for the general health. Energy comes from either the dantian or the kidney. The adrenaline glands are located in the kidney area. Starting first with the yin movement. Inhale as you stand up with your feet shoulder width apart and your palms facing one another with the fingers pointed up. Exhale as slowly lower yourself into a horse stance. Inhale as you extend your arms outward with your palms facing up. When fully extended, hold your breath and press your arms further in both directions. Exhale as you bring your hands back to their position in front of your chest. Then go to the yang move. To do the yang portion of this move, begin with your feet shoulder width apart. Fists facing each other at chest height. Inhale. Exhale as you punch downward between your knees, lowering your body into a horse stance. Open your hands, and as you squeeze them tightly together, stand up, bringing your hands to chest level. Be sure to keep your qi in your dantian. To increase the amount of qi flowing to dantian, keep your eyes wide open to be sure to tighten your anal muscle as you stand up. After you've repeated this exercise 8 times, while standing with your feet apart and fists facing each other, rotate your hands away from your body until they are facing the sky and lower yourself into a horse stance for the chi balancing move. Notice that this is the same posture as in the first exercise, except that different chi is involved because you are in a horse stance. In the first exercise, chi comes from the liver upward through your heart, and the direction is upward. In this exercise, the chi goes downward toward the kidney area. When you are holding a cauldron, the force is very heavy, and that requires kidney chi to sustain that weight. Breathing is natural, and you should maintain this posture for as long as you comfortably can. It is not necessary to repeat this posture, which is the balancing or adjustment posture. The third movement is called nailing flowers left and right. The purpose of this exercise is to stretch your tendons and open your joints. This is done both left and right and up and down. The yang left and right begins as you inhale with your feet together and both fists on your right side. Exhale and step left, sending both hands out with the fingers pointing towards the sky and your palms pushing left. At the same time, snap your head to your right. Inhale as you come back and repeat this 8 times on each side. When this is complete, the next move is the yang up and down. Inhale and raise your right hand over your head with the left hand hanging in front of you. Exhale and drop into a horse while forcefully moving both arms so as to reverse their positions. Repeat this move 8 times, staying in the horse stance, and on each move, inhale as you raise your hand up and exhale as you strike down. The hand going up represents the elements of fire, and going down it represents water. You can inhale slowly as you raise your hand, but as you come down, you must exhale quickly. To do the yin posture, stand with both feet shoulder-width apart and inhale. Turn the left foot out, raising the toe in what is called a 7-star stance. Lean over while slowly stretching your fist towards your toe as you exhale. Inhale as you slowly raise your body upward, stretching your abdominal muscle to allow you to lean back. Exhale and bend forward again to touch your toes. This move is for the muscles of your stomach. When you reach back, open up your stomach area and try not to arch your back. In many meditations, you bring qi in through your navel. If done correctly, you will achieve the same result from this move. After completing these movements, step from the 7-star stance into a bow and arrow stance. Raise the left hand over your head with the left palm facing up as though supporting a weight. Open your chest and press forward with the dantian. The dantian is so solid that it can resist a blow. The right hand is directly below the left hand and it is pushing forward. Arch your back, press your abdomen out, and look upwards at a 45-degree angle. This is a combining or qi balancing move. The fourth move is called the roots of the ancient tree curl up. The purpose of this move is to open the hip joint and waist and also to train your brain. People who are getting older often experience a lack of qi. This exercise is to replenish the qi and vigor. The yang movement is the same as the side-to-side movement in number 2, except that the legs are twisted like withered roots curling up on a tree. Whichever leg is in front determines the side you should strike to. To begin, cross your right foot in front of the left, with the toes of both feet touching each other. Allow your left fist to rest upon your right fist on the right side of your body. Inhale, exhale, and snap your head towards the right while pressing your hands to the left. Repeat this exercise on both sides 8 times. Twisting moves such as reeling silk moves keeps the muscles younger and keeps the muscles and skin firmer for longer periods of time. People who get older experience a sagging of their muscles and skin as it loses elasticity. This exercise helps the muscles and skin to retain elasticity. When you reach to one side, you turn your head to the opposite side. Thus, the feet are twisted. The head is twisted, and this causes the whole body to be twisted. This twisting creates a better passageway for energy to circulate. The yin movement involves turning your head 90 degrees while your body turns 135 degrees and sinks into a dragon stance. Both arms are rounded and curved away from your body with lightly closed fists. This movement requires that you keep your vertical axis in the same place as you turn your body. This causes the energy to spiral down into the ground. As you come forward to begin your turn to the other side, it spirals up again and then spirals down as you sink into the dragon stance on the other side. The spinal cord is twisted in this movement. When Master Su was younger, his teacher had him practice this move holding 2 buckets of water, each weighing about 40 pounds. He was supposed to turn without spilling water. This movement helps to develop good downward power in martial arts. For example, notice how Master Su uses this move on Marit. He attributes his downward power to holding the bucket of water. Begin by turning to your left. You should inhale before you turn and exhale as you turn and go into a dragon stance. Notice that when you turn your head 90 degrees, it lines up with your right shoulder and vice versa on the other side. Notice also that you must let your arms drop as you lower yourself into the dragon stance. As you go back up, you should inhale before exhaling as you turn and go down on the other side. After completing 8 moves on each side, bring both feet together and raise up on your toes with your hands at chest level, palms facing away from you. Cup your palms slightly and press them away from you as though you were pushing against a wall. The toes become stimulated when you stand on them, as this stimulates the brain, especially the cerebellum. This is the balancing move. Master Su will now review the sequence emphasizing the breathing. Notice how Master Su maintains his center line or axis in the same plane as he does the move. As you do the balancing move, notice that you need to lean forward slightly. The 5th posture is called The Demon Searches the Sea. The purpose of this is to develop flexibility in your spine and to develop spring power. The first movement is yin. Stand with your right foot stepping on the left and raise the right arm over your head and place your left hand against your spine just above your belt level. Bend your spine, allowing your arm to drop, and strike lightly against your thigh. Come back up and bend again, allowing the arm to again drop. This time, change hands and bring the left one over your head. Repeat this sequence 8 times, and then switch legs and do the same sequence on the other side. It is not necessary to control your breathing while doing this exercise. The yang movement begins in a horse stance, with the right hand at the waist and the left hand extended away from your body on the left side. Grab with the left hand. Punch down towards your toes with the right hand and rotate into a 7-star stance as you exhale. Back to the horse on the opposite side and repeat the same procedure. Do this 8 times on each side. The adjustment stance is done by standing with your feet together, body tilting forward and palms pressing down as you raise up on your toes. Imagine that your head is pressing against the ceiling. Your eyes should be focused slightly upward as you do this move. Hold this posture as long as you comfortably can. There are certain principles that we need to discuss at this point. If you want to bring qi into the dantian, there are certain principles you need to be aware of. First of all, your tailbone has to be tucked. Secondly, the chin has to be kept in. Thirdly, the shoulders need to be dropped or rounded. And if your arms are extended, you need to sink your elbows. To achieve a proper dropping or rounding of the shoulder, you need to pay attention to your shoulder blades and be sure that they are sinking down. These principles are known to Tai Chi practitioners as well as those who practice other martial arts. The sixth exercise is called to open the windows and let the light shine in. This trains the Dantian Qi for use of explosive power so that the Qi can be exploded from the Dantian with the force of a bullet. It also improves the Qi's ability to cross from one side of the body to the other through the spinal cord. It also trains the brain by increasing your body's ability to balance itself. The first movement is yin, which deals with crossing from left to right and right to left. Inhale as you begin, with your fists crossed over your head, palms forward, and elbows slightly bent. Bring your arms apart, describing a circle, until they reach your waist. Your right fist stays at your waist as your left fist comes up in front of your chest. Turn your waist left as you pivot on your heels and raise your left toe up and hold your breath. Open your hands as your waist continues to turn and you drop into a dragon posture with the left arm on top and facing up as though to protect your head, and your right arm is pushing forward at the bottom of your rib cage. Repeat the move on the other side. Do these moves 8 times. The Yang movement trains the Dantian particularly in terms of explosive power. Stand with your body in a bow and arrow stance, pressing your navel and Dantian area forward. Your arms are at your sides and dropped with the back of your palm facing front and the fingers dropping towards the ground. Rapidly shift your weight backwards as you exhale and raise and turn your hands so that both palms are facing up at shoulder level, being sure to sink your tailbone as you make this move. This stance is called a 70-30 stance because 70% of your weight is on your back foot. As you go backwards and lower your tailbone, it is important that you also let your dantian fold inward, as though bringing it to the back of your body. The adjustment move involves standing with your feet together and your arms at your side. As you raise your palms towards your face, lean back on your heels and allow yourself to balance on your heels as you look at your palms. Be sure to keep your toes off the ground and pointed up at all times. The 7th move is called Wei To. The guardian saint offers his weapon. Wei To is the statue that stands behind the goddess of mercy. He always carries a big staff in his hand. This exercise is useful for training the brain, the back muscles, and stimulating your kidneys. Chinese martial art emphasizes the dantian and the kidneys. The dantian is the reservoir of the qi, and the kidneys is the gate of the qi. This exercise works to strengthen the gait, while at the same time training the brain in such a way as to improve coordination and physical balance. The Yang move begins as you exhale into a horse stance. Press your palms tightly against each other in front of the chest. Inhale as you slowly pull the palms apart and rotate the forearms until you are pushing your palms away from each other. Exhale while you clap your hands above your head, and inhale as you bring the palms down to shoulder height and use the motion of your arms to bring yourself to your normal height. Repeat this move as many as 8 times. The Yin move involves closing your hands so they form a loosely shaped fist. Holding them one above the other, rotate them in opposite directions, while at the same time rotating on your feet in the same direction as the upper. There are actually 3 circles: the hands, the feet, and the head. Also describes a circle as you do this exercise. After making each rotations, change hands and rotate in the opposite direction. Breathe naturally during this exercise. The balancing move involves natural breathing. Place your left hand on your kidney and hold your right fist in front of your chest as though you were wrapping it around a post. Do not make a tight fist and be sure that your arm is rounded. Rotate your waist to the left and remain in this position for a few moments. Return to the first position and change hands. Rotate to the right. Repeat this move 8 times. The 8th move is called the Old Monk Meditates.